to continue this teaching of our own that was started in 1977. And at that time, I was Faith or Mukmin Abdullah or Abdul Mukmin Abdullah Muhammad. And Abdul Mukmin was the faith, the servant of faith. By me being the servant of faith, I collected the evidence of things not seen or mentioned. And by being Abdullah was the slave of Allah, which is basically going 180 degrees of just doing the works of Allah on the planet, elevated to what we call the Eloheem, got inducted in the order of Melchizedek, you see, and Melchizedek in the seen, Melchizedek in the unseen. So we're talking about from Allah to man. It goes, we're on page 11. It says, but the exalted knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only for the true men of faith. And it speaks about Isa ibn Maryam, or Jesus, son of Mary, related this to his disciples by saying, and this is in the book of Matthew, 7th chapter, the 6th verse, in part. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine. And this means that the knowledge that we had, it wasn't for it wasn't for everyone. And those who endured and those who gave it up, they got tricked because you can't give it to swines. But in the Holy Quran, which is a book that they try to tell you don't read, but it's a continuation, is the comforting of the book. Is the when you say Quran, you're saying say, and is a prefix which means double. So you're saying say this part, which is a confirmation of that which was before it. In this Holy Quran 103, the surah is 103, the chapter is 103, and the verses is 1 through 3. It says, begin all things with the illustrious name of Allah, the yielder, the most merciful. It says, I swear by the time when the soul of man shall be squeezed from his body. Surely this is the age when human beings are overcome by defeat, except those who are faithful and work to perfect their beings and are advocates of truth, patience, and endurance. The word hikmah is wisdom. Wisdom is a term by the Sufi to express a knowledge of the existence, the attributes and specialties, and the result of things as they exist and are seen. This also extends to the study of their causes, their effects, and their uses. This is said to be the wisdom mentioned in the Quran. Al Quran's second chapter, 272nd verse. It says, the guidance is not on you, Muhammad, but it is Allah who guides whoever He pleases. And of what you spend of the good, it is for your own good. And do not spend except if you are seeking Allah's face. And what you spend of the good will be fully repaid to you, and you will not be treated unjustly. And that's dealing with charity, that's dealing with helping people, that's dealing with actually teaching and investing in teaching this mission. This mission goes continually every generation. Holy Quran 2, second Surah 269. And He, Allah, gives the wisdom to which he pleases, and whoever is given the wisdom, certainly he is given a lot of good, and they will not remember none except those who have brains or intellect. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, he gives without measure. He gives for his reason and his purpose. So we are instruments on another way that is said that we are instruments of Christ, or we are special. The wisdom which is made known in the Quran, the unspoken wisdom which is known by the Sufi and not by the natural man. So you have those who are Sufi, and that Sufi is those who spend their entire life worshiping, chanting, and doing great deeds for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to the natural man, right, those who just randomly do things and don't study and don't pray, they have no say in a lot of things. They're just what we call unconscious. It says the unknown wisdom, or the acts of the creator, the wisdom of which is known to the creatures, such as the infliction of pain upon the creatures of Allah, the death of infants, or the eternal fire of hell, things which ye have faith in but do not understand, the collective wisdom, or the knowledge of the truth, and the acting upon it, and the perception of error and the rejection of it. When you see error, you reject it. So you have what they call the planes. And the planes is the science. Science, it says science tell us that there are basically three substances that make up the world and the things in it. They are solids, liquids, and gases. Solids have three dimensions, liquids have three dimensions, and gases have three dimensions. We sense these three substances with one or more of the five senses that the scientists are sure we have, and that is to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, and to feel. These senses all take part in identifying the three dimensions of the world that surround us, called the material plane. But solids, liquids, and gases belong to the lower part of the material plane. The higher part of the material plane and the other planes belong to another dimension. This is the dimension of the unseen, and in the dimension of the unseen of the material plane belongs four other substances. And then we cut the skip. Let's see if we can find that page. I don't think we're going to find that page. It's okay. No, we're not going to find that page. So we're going to just keep on going. What do you want? Be like that sometimes. Okay. Let's take it from we're gonna go with the planes. You have the union with Allah, which is the first plane, or the seventh plane. Let's go from the first on up. You have the material plane, which is the lowest and slowest of all in existence. It's governed by a cardinal desire. It's material and not spiritual. So you have the material plane. solid, liquids, and gases. Then you have the plane of force, the force between voluntary and involuntary actions, which is life substance. Then you have the spiritual plane where emotions are manifest. You have the mental plane where the spirits and the soul, where thoughts are formed. That's what we took from the emotional you. Then you go up. Then you have the intellectual you, and that's where the spirit and soul and the thoughts are formed. Your spirit. They see this the body is we're in the body. So you're in that body, but you're not that body. That body belongs to the earth. The earth, the name of the earth right now is Gia. Gia is a organic living entity, and that's what they don't want you to know. So when you see the trees growing and the grass growing, that is organic, that is natural, it's life. And this life is called HAYAAT. When you know it by HAYAAT, you won't live a lie. If you know life by the word, if you know our existence by the word life, that's when you start to go into the materialistic, because that brings you into the realm of a lie. The word lie, Lie, is the word Eli scrambled up. The word Eli means exalted. So when you say Hayat, then you put yourself in the right frame of mind. When you say life, then you're on the wrong side. So from the spiritual plane where your emotions ride, then you go to the mental plane with your intellect. And then when you go to your intellect, that's when you start to meet the host of the planet, and it's called divine truth. And now you get into what they call your guardian angels, and that's where we come in at, the guardian angels, right? So they say Elohim, raising you as an Elohim, but we be Elohim. You see, that's the distinction between Elohim and Elohim. You are the Elohim, and then you rise up, and then you take the position to overstand. And the overstanding, you start to commence to teach and establish and create using the body, which is the shell or the vehicle. Understanding and overstanding, because you have to understand to take a stand to overstand. And this is the procedure of coming down and solidifying in the body. See, with the etheric forms, you become an Etherean. And once you get to the guardian angels, that's when the spark of life, which remember, it says life, but we're talking about Hayat. The only thing you can look at when you say life is iffy. If you look and find the word for iffy, then you can use that word. But if you use it for just life, it represents the lie. And then you have the union with Allah, that's the eternal bliss. And as you make manifest with the intellect and you start to rise up, overseeing, establishing, and doing things, then you're walking in, you become a part of the all. And then when you're in the all, you can be what you're supposed to be. You can manifest your vision in the all. So these are the planes. I'm going to put it up, and you can see it again, and you can take a snapshot, and you can see what's popping. And these are the planes again. The science tells us that there are basically three substances that make up the world, and the things in it. They are solid, liquids, and gases. Solid, liquids, and gas have 3 dimensions. Liquids have 3 dimensions, and gases have 3 dimensions, which brings us to the 9. Okay. So anyway, here's another shot of that. You see the whole page. So as we begin, Holy Quran 23:7. And certainly we created above you 7 ways, and we were never reckless concerning creation. So the Holy Quran is explaining the scriptures from the Old Testament to the New Testament to which we call Quran, which is the confirmation, the comforting from what they call the Prophet Muhammad, but he was from the tribe of Quraysh. So his name was Ahmed Quraysh. And in America today, you have that family that is called Kiris. And you have other twisting of the tongue that comes from that particular family also. But when you say Kiris, that is like what they call the nucleus in America. So you have solids, liquids, gases, electric ether, light ether, light ether, and mental reflection. The 7 planes have 7 subplanes, which you are able to see by the 7 subplanes of the materialistic plane. And that's we're talking about the 7 ways in Holy Quran 23:17. Here's a snapshot of that right there. Each of the 7 planes have their own 7 subdivisions, and so on until the 7th subdivision. In the Holy Quran, the 7 planes are spoken as the 7 heavens. So when we talk about the 7 heavens, we talk about the 7 planes, and that's in Holy Quran 71:15. Do not you see how He, Allah, created the 7 heavens in levels, which is right here in the bottom right there. So you have the 7 subplanes of the materialistic planes, and here's the numbers right here. This is how it works. So you have solid region, liquids or chemicals, gas or diverse, or which is gases is dense physical. And then you have your first ether, which is electric ether. Your second ether is called higher ether. The third ether is called light ether. And the fourth ether, which is the 7th heaven, is the mental reflecting. See, and once it says the 4 ethers of the physical region and the ultra gases matters, and you have the lower region. So you have the lower regions, you have the ultra gases matter, right? And then you have the 4 ethers of the physical region. And this is right there. And as you notice, this book is going from right to left. So it's like backwards or the way back. You say backwards or the way back. So now we're going the way back. So it started in 1970, right? That was the scene. Before that, you had the unseen from 1969 and the lifestyle that the first master teacher taught. So now we're here in 2022, and we're going from 2022 backwards. So, because it's a new generation. Generation is the ration of genes, the actions of genes. The word genes is basically your genetics, because we are scientists. So you have to come out of this being a person. You see, a person is a personification of the solidification of your etheric form coming into this body. And this was germinated by your creator, which is the womb man or your mother. The word mother is me, M-O-T, out of H-E-R, me out of her. And that word is used from, which is men, M-I-N. Then they put M-E-N, and then they put M-O-N, and then they put M-U-N. So the vowels that's between two consonants is the articulation of variations of the same thing, different levels of the same uh, thought, action, or command when you have words. So it says in the Torah, the Old Testament, the plains are synonymous to Jacob's ladder. And that's Genesis 28:12. And he dreamed, and behold, the ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached the heaven. And behold, the angels of Allah ascending and descending on it. So the angelic realm, the Elohim, which I represent, Gabriel, the teaching part of it, which is a gigi from the sky, right? Or what they call Nibiru, which is the planet crossing, the planet that's 3 times bigger than Earth. And we solidify through and come down through our etheric force to teach you what's going on. So a lot of people say, well, he's making this up. Oh, this yeah, people. That's because people are lazy and they don't want to get with the plan. And it already tell you in Quran. Don't worry about that. But anyway, the words in the twinkling of an eye describe the quickness of traveling from one place to another. It's twinkle of the eye because we're not bound by the body. This is what I came to teach y'all, how to get out of the body and travel intergalactical, or they say new dimensions. You see, so it says the book of Corinthians by Paul, Corinthians 1, 15:52, 15 chapter, 52nd verse of the book of Corinthians. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So this dead is the raising of the dead that I now command you to stand up. I command you to rise up out of your sleep. I command you to bear witness to the truth, to the oath that you have taken, to the oath that you have taken before you were born. This is why we're going backwards. It's like doing the moonwalk, going backwards. They got to one point, and then they coming back to get you. So they coming from the left, and then they going right to left. Lastly, the Holy Quran, which is the last testament. So when we speak about the Holy Quran, always say the last testament. You got the Old, the New, and the Last Testaments, which is the Holy Quran, which is the collective of the family of Abraham through Noah, through Adam, and before, okay, which we will explain in other books. It says, Holy Quran 17:1, glorious is he who made his servant Ahmed Quraysh who they call Muhammad, traveled from the sacred masjid in Mecca to the masjid in Aqsa or Jerusalem on the night in which we surrounded him with blessings, so he could perceive our signs. Surely he, Allah, is the hearer and the seer. As you can see, the knowledge of the seventh plane is not something new. Throughout the scriptures, man is described as being able to elevate to higher planes if he has developed the seven senses that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with. It is now our responsibility to reacquaint ourselves with the seven planes. Therefore, we shall first discuss the first plane, which is called the mental plane. So we're going to end this. We're going to come right back and we're going to put it down. So I want you to go and listen to this 7 times. I want you to teach it to 7 people and have them teach it to 7 more people. By mouth to ear, we can make this happen all over again, like the first time. My name is Abdul Mukmin. Ask somebody. It is truth. Okay? We don't stop. We get the job done.